Okay, look, before we go to the commercial timeout, I had a number of emails. I got to face this straight on. I had a number of emails from people who thought that I dropped the ball yesterday because I didn't mention the upcoming budget deal. People thought, the stick to the issues crowd thought that I had dropped the ball. I was spending too much time on jocularity and frivolous fun things when the Republicans were about to give away the bank in budget negotiations with Patty Murray and the Democrats. And I didn't drop the ball. I just didn't discuss it for a very simple reason. There's nothing I could have done. There's nothing I could have said on the radio yesterday. There's no interview I could have conducted that was going to change what happened. There is a simple fact, folks. The Republicans in Congress, and I would say that this is probably true of the Republicans in Washington, they are suffering shell shock. They are not moved at all by Obama's plummeting poll numbers. They are not moved at all by the problems people are having with Obamacare. They are in shell shock. I've described it as post-traumatic stress disorder. Whatever. They are literally afraid of one thing, and that is being blamed again for the government shutdown. And that was the objective, to make sure there wasn't a government shutdown, and it didn't matter what was required. If it meant funding Obamacare, which has happened, it's this simple. The Republicans didn't like the idea of defunding Obamacare. They didn't like the idea of a partial government shutdown. They're living in a different world. They believe that the country despises and hates them. They believe that Obama is still universally loved and adored, and that there is nothing they can do to overcome that. They think that anything that goes against Obama's way is going to result in them being blamed, and it's an election year next year. And they don't want to get anywhere near another government shutdown, no matter the principle involved, no matter the issues involved. They just weren't going to go there. I've never seen anything like this. I have never seen this degree of shell shock, or whatever else you want to call it. But my point, folks, there was nothing I could have said. There's nothing anybody could have said yesterday. There's nothing anybody could have said during the day. There was nothing anybody could have said that was going to change what was going to happen in the Republican negotiating position on this budget. And this is the first real budget in, 2 or 3 years. The Democrats finally did present a budget. But I'm telling you, I had conversations with it. Preventing another shutdown is all that mattered. They really, to this minute, believe that they may have been irreparably harmed by being blamed for the shutdown a couple of months ago. They are paralyzed. The fear of what the media will say and do and report has them paralyzed. And I think that's, in large part, it's also why so many of them are talking about moving ahead with amnesty and so forth. Now, a number of conservative groups have reacted in totally warranted anger and outrage, and Boehner has lashed out at them. And he's going to try to, I'm convinced he's going to try to walk some of this back, but he's called them ridiculous. He's mentioned one of the three groups is the Heritage Action Group, Heritage Foundation, our buddies there. Friday, grab soundbite number 4. This is Boehner, and this is this morning in Washington at a press conference talking about the tentative budget deal. Pelosi's not happy about it, by the way, because it does not extend unemployment benefits in this horribly rotten Obama economy. She doesn't say horribly rotten Obama economy, but that's what it is. Anyway, reporter said, Mr. Speaker, a lot of conservative groups have put out statements blasting this budget deal. Are you worried?
You mean the groups that came out and opposed it before they ever saw it?
Yes, those groups. Are you worried?
They're using our members and they're using the American people for their own goals. This is ridiculous. Listen, if you're for more deficit reduction, you're for this agreement.
Well, this is the point. There isn't any deficit reduction in this. There's not any serious deficit reduction here. They even gave away the sequester. And this is it was hopeless, folks. You know me, I'm not obsessed with pessimism or negativity, but I'm just telling you, there was nothing that could have been said yesterday by anybody that was going to change what happened. Now, the they want to continue to complain about Obamacare, and they want to continue to complain about deficit spending, but they hate the idea of another partial government shutdown. That isn't going to happen no matter what, because they still haven't gotten over what they think is being blamed for. Most people don't even remember. This is the thing. The degree to the disconnect with their own voters and base, I have never seen anything like it. They are so frightened of being blamed for another shutdown that they gave up parts of the sequester, which had been a hard line on spending. The sequester was a bipartisan deal. It was Obama's idea. It's a Republican-Democrat achievement that really did help reduce the deficit. Part of it, anyway, the rate. And this deal unsequestered the sequester. And it increases spending in the near term for promises of some tiny long-term reductions to the tune of $2.5 billion a year. But now the Republicans in Congress believe that they now have an open field to continue to criticize Obamacare and talk about Obamacare in negative ways. But, I just saw the clock. I have to take a break.